For the takeover of Twitter by Tesla CEO Elon Musk is confirmed. This, according to Bloomberg, the deal is worth approximately $44 billion US, or $54.20 per share, which will be paid out to the shareholders. Trading was halted just before 3 p.m. Eastern Time at $51.63 per share. The unsolicited offer to buy the social media platform began earlier this month when Musk purchased a 9.2% stake in the company, becoming the largest outside shareholder, but turned down a board member position. Instead, on April 14th, he offered to buy Twitter altogether, with plans to take the public company private and turn it into what he describes as the platform for free speech around the globe. I'm Ari Urbinovich at the City News Business Center.
So, if you've been on Twitter lately, or you've been on social media in general, you know that Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla, has purchased Twitter for $44 billion. And I was on Twitter like throughout the week ever since I heard like this news. I was like, okay, cool, it is what it is, okay. And as I started scrolling through my timeline and just stuff like that, I'm noticing a lot of people are complaining about this and starting to go up in arms and crying and things of that nature, and saying things like, Elon Musk is going to destroy the app. We're going to have a bunch of racists running around trying to ruin the app and things like that. And I'm just very appalled by how people seem to think that everything has to go their way and that things are supposed to turn out a certain way. Ask yourself, why do you really care about this? Why do you really care what another man does with his money? I also saw a lot of people saying things like, if he just took that money and spent it on, instead of spending on Twitter, an app that's free, why didn't he just, help stop homelessness? And it's like, that's not how it works. I think a lot of people have this perception that if we give the homeless money and we just pay for things for them and we just give people things, that they're going to somehow become successful and they're going to somehow get out of the situation they're in right now. Me personally, I just don't see it as a problem. If he wants to buy Twitter, that's by all means, do what you want. I preach that on this channel. I say that you should be able to do whatever you want, as long as you're not hurting anybody, as long as you're not affecting anybody directly. You should be able to do whatever you want. I think that people are getting way too just upset about something that they really cannot control. And at the end of the day, who cares? Why do you care about if Elon Musk buys Twitter? Because he's going to, destroy the platform. He's going to just change things. For me personally, if somehow the app just goes under and it's just it's ruined, whatever, I don't care. Oh well. It's a social media app. It's not the end of the world. I think that people are treating this like it's the end of the world, that it's some type of scheme that he's going to just ruin the platform, open up for, different people, bad people to get on there. And I think that that's ridiculous. Especially the whole idea of, he could solve homelessness. That's not realistic at all. I don't know how people can't realize that even if you give somebody that's homeless or in a bad situation money, who's to say that they're going to take that money and actually use it for something good? Why should someone spend their money on someone that they don't even know is going to use it in the correct way? It's the same thing with addicts. If you give a crack addict or someone who's alcoholic, you send them to therapy, you send them to rehab, it's really up to them how they utilize it for it to be effective. You can't help everybody. There are just going to be some people that are unreachable in this aspect, and even if you give them money or you give them support, there's no way to really determine whether or not that's going to help them in the long run. What you need to be worried about is yourself. You need to be worried about how you're spending your money, what you're doing for money, whether you want to help the homeless. Stop looking at celebrities and people in power and businessmen and businesswomen for them to change things for you or for people around you. You have to be that change. You have to enact that change, because sitting there and hoping and saying that and criticizing people that you have no power over or you have no influence towards, trying to tell them what to do with their money and trying to tell them what to do with their time is pointless. You're wasting your time. Instead of taking that time and that energy crying on Twitter, crying on social media about free speech and all this other stuff, go outside and spread your word. Or go on another social media app. Go on YouTube, go on Instagram, somewhere else. There's always going to be a social media app for everybody. But this idea that things have to say the way we want them to, life doesn't work like that. There are plenty of things right now that's going on in like the US and other parts of the world that you have no control over and you will not have control over because the people behind closed doors are conducting. So instead of worrying about them, worrying about what they got going on, you gotta worry about yourself and your family, the people closest to you. Because only then can you really change things. Let your efforts match your fruit. Peace.